Welcome, everybody, to Straight Shoot, a wrestling podcast. It is the go-home episode to WrestleMania. I'm one of your hosts, Santi. Steve, how have you been?
Santi, I am excited. This is literally Christmas week if you are a wrestling fan. It is the most exciting, stupendous week of the year for us. It is WrestleMania week. I am excited. What about yourself, buddy?
I'm we're going to get to it. I'm always excited at WrestleMania season. It's tough to not be, but this is one of those years where I'm looking at the card and I'm like, I'm not really feeling this. But regardless, once the pyro hits, once you see, a crowd of 90,000 people jam-packed in Texas, and once that glass shatters, I'm going to be in a glass case of emotion, as they say, in a happy glass case of emotion. But yeah, today's episode is entirely WrestleMania based. We are going to be doing our predictions for every single match of night 1 and night 2 of WrestleMania, as well as any other sort of banter that we can get into regarding WrestleMania. And speaking of banter, I think I sort of alluded to it as I mentioned what I thought of the card. But Steve, off the cuff, basically, initial thoughts from seeing this card. What do you think?
All right. That's pretty much it. I think there's one match, maybe two, that really intrigue me. And as you and I always allude to, the bathroom break matches, we have 12 bathroom break matches. If I was to pull two that I'm really excited about, Edge AJ, I think that's going to steal the show. I feel sorry for anyone who has to follow that. I think Edge and AJ is going to be that match that is just wow, stupendous, exactly. And I'm over, like we talked about last week, I'm over on all the work that Seth has been doing. He's carried a feud with nobody, and we're going to get the surprise nobody. You and I have our opinions on who the surprise nobody is. A lot of rumors have come out in the last couple of days on other people it could be. We can get into that in a bit, but really this is not an impressive WrestleMania for the size, the stadium, the state, the production, all of that. What you and I saw last week with what the athletes were putting on just at a house show, it's really come on.
Yeah, there's some weird omissions from this card. One of the things that you mentioned here, and we can get into this, last week we talked about notable omissions, and one of the ones that we talked about was Finn Balor and Damien Priest. We were at a house show on Saturday, and one of the title matches was Damien Priest versus Finn Balor for the United States title. They were given a solid 15 minutes, and they tore the house down.
Absolutely.
So and Steve and I the whole time just kept saying, why can't these guys just be given 10 minutes at WrestleMania? Yep. Just make the title relevant by allowing a solid 9 to 12 minute defense between two stellar athletes that don't need that much time in order to be able to tell a proper story in the ring. So it's really, really a shame. But yeah, for me, the card at first glance is I'm just going to use the term, it's kind of dog water. But again, it's WrestleMania. It's the most stupendous 2-night affair. So with that being said, like I said, even though at first glance I'm not particularly jazzed about the card that we have going into the show, I'm sure all those feelings will probably go out the window once we see the big sign, the pyro, whoever sings America the Beautiful. All those feelings will probably go away.
They announced that. It's going to be I can't remember. Two massive country singers. Night 1, night 2, two massive country singers are going to be doing it, and I'm excited. Excited. They're very. I can't remember their names right now. We'll get it in there in a minute. But they announced that in America the Beautiful. They've chosen actually some people that aren't too big, but it's going to be still quality. But like you're saying, we're going to get to see the stage. We're going to get to see, the floor full. We're going to get to see the pyro go off. It's Texas. It's AT&T Stadium. Come on. We're saying right now, the card isn't that impressive, but we are still talking about WrestleMania, and we are also talking about a WWE production at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
It won't disappoint. It's just, unfortunately, the build and the card is leaving a lot to be like.
Yeah, I was actually looking back at previous WrestleMania cards, and I would say that going back from WrestleMania 37 as far back as I could, this is the worst card since Mania 27 when the main event was John Cena versus The Miz. Between WrestleMania 37 and 28, all of those WrestleMania cards are better than what we have here. I think the only WrestleMania card going back that is worse than this one is WrestleMania 27. So it's been a while since we've had a fairly underwhelming card, if I can be. We're just going off of what we're seeing on Wikipedia with this match list. It could tear down the house, and we might be eating our words here next week. But let's start with our predictions here, and let's start at night one. And you know what? Let's start off right at the top. So we've got Becky Lynch as the champion, Raw Women's Champion, going up against Bianca Belair in a singles match. Right off the bat, what are your thoughts? Who's taking this?
It's Bianca all day long. Like, it hurts me. It irks me to say that Bianca goes over because of my overall opinion on Bianca and her character. Not her general outside of wrestling character. It's just her performance character. It's not good enough, in my opinion, to carry the women's division. Currently, she's an incredible athlete. She is a talent. In a couple of years, she's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. She doesn't have that it factor for me to be the one leaving Mania with the women's title. We did see a very interesting segment with Monday Night Raw with the scissors and Becky losing some hair and potentially the loss of Bianca's ponytail. If that's foreshadowing, then wow, like we're going to get into something completely different. But at the end of the day, it's going to be Bianca for me, as much as I want it to be Becky. But I think it's still going to be an interesting 15 to 17 minute match. I think they're going to go out and put on actually a decent war for, I think, what might actually open the show. I think this is going to be a show opener for us. So yeah, I really think. What about yourself, man? Like I you know my opinion. What about you?
I have Becky Lynch winning. I have Becky Lynch winning just because of the other matches that we have on night one. Of the two women's champions who are both, by the way, on night one, that I see more likely that WWE wants the title off of them, between Charlotte and Becky, I think the more likely where backstage wants the title off of them is Charlotte. And I don't see both titles changing here. I guess I'm kind of spoiling what I think between Charlotte and Ronda. But I'm going to go Becky Lynch here because you sort of alluded to where I'm going, like that star potential that Bianca Belair has. I just still don't think that it's there. Especially like when you're comparing to somebody like Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch, I genuinely don't believe that Becky Lynch is the right person to do the job for Bianca Belair. Because Becky Lynch is so beloved by everyone. I actually think that the right person to do the job to elevate Bianca Belair is Charlotte, which is why these women's main events are backwards. Everyone wanted Ronda Becky, and everyone would be a lot more willing to swallow a Bianca Belair win if it was against Charlotte. They're backwards. They got the booking wrong. And because of this, like it's tough to navigate where this is going to go. But I think that going over on Becky is actually going to hurt Bianca because, again, this is the female Stone Cold, right? Like in terms of like the type of character that she is. She's face or heel, doesn't matter. She's getting the red carpet treatment from any fan around the world. Having Becky do the job for Bianca is going to get the fans going up against Bianca.
Here's the thing. You alluded to something there, or you straight up said it. Forget alluded. We're going to talk about this whole episode. We're going to talk about booking. and getting booking wrong. Like, there are matches here that you're like, that these guys should be here. These girls should be here in this match. So this is the first step to us you and I going back to this booking and creative has been lost over the last 12 months. And I completely agree with you. Becky is not the one to do the job for Bianca. Becky Ronda is still not finished.
Yeah, that's what we wanted.
Yeah,
that's what we wanted.
Charlotte, everyone's sick of Charlotte and they want someone new. I honestly see Bianca's character better over on SmackDown anyways. She has that SmackDown personality. It's more an upbeat brand. Raw is the more serious, gritty side of things. Bianca should be over there anyways. So, like, you're completely correct. I feel you on that. But I still see them getting the booking wrong and it being Bianca. But as much as I want it to be Becky, I still feel it's Bianca.
All right, well, let's move on here to match 2. We've got Celebrity Tag Team match. We got Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio versus The Miz and Logan Paul. I'll take the reins on this one first, since I made the controversial decision to put Bad Bunny's match as my 5th favorite WrestleMania match of all time. People seem to think that favorite means the best. For God's sake, my favorite movie is Will Smith's I Am Legend. I'm aware that it's not a masterpiece, okay? There's a difference between favorite and greatest. Idiots, stupid IWC toxic motherfuckers. Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio and The Miz. Rey and Dominic versus The Miz and Logan. I'm very excited about this because of how last year's tag team match was handled. I actually think that The Miz and Logan Paul are winning this one. I actually think that The Miz and Logan Paul are winning this one because, the celebrity going over is a fairly common trope in WrestleMania. Just so happens that the celebrity's a heel, which makes this interesting because the celebrity is never a heel. So this is another little dynamic that I really like about this. Miz and Logan have been magic together personally. They're just so obnoxious on social media, all of the backstage segments, Lucha Logan stealing the mask. Like, it's been fun. It's been a fun feud. And I'm giving the win here to The Miz and Logan Paul. The Miz also has been doing some fantastic work over the last 3 years. I think he's due for a WrestleMania win here.
Yeah. This is actually one of the matches lowest on the totem pole for me. When it comes to interest, and that's hard to say. Hold on, that's hard to say with the likes of Rey Mysterio in there. But if I have to choose, it's probably for me. It's going to be Rey and Dominic. I don't see Miz and Logan I don't see this being a match where they put on a long, 10-15 minute orchestra. I think really this is going to be a couple of bumps. Everyone's going to be really surprised that Logan actually takes a solid bump, and that's going to be pretty much the gist of it. I think this is going to be Rey and Dom going over. But also I see this as being that transitional point of maybe a bump or two and miscommunication between Dom and Rey, and leading into a feud with Dom and Rey. So I see there's a lot more to this match than what we're visualizing. So my pick on this is Rey and Dom.
Yeah, and honestly, Steve, I also think that this is a match where the booking is weird. I personally, and feel free to correct me if you think otherwise, The Miz and Logan Paul are way better on the mic than Rey Mysterio and Dominic. Like, it's not even close. The Miz and Logan Paul, that is a tag team of trash talk, of being annoying, being obnoxious. I would have liked a tag team that mirrors that on the face side. I would have liked the Street Profits versus The Miz and Logan Paul. I think that's just more fun booking. There's a lot more that could have been done with that, because at the end of the day, like, Rey Mysterio and Dominic are very serious. right? They're not jokey characters. They're not ones that really go beyond like the respect of lucha libre, right? I would have liked to have an antagonist to the Miz and Logan Paul that was kind of on that same level, not afraid to get into the funny bits, get trash talky, and kind of give it back to the Miz and Logan Paul. And I think the Street Profits would have been a more fun option there.
Agreed. Street Profits, even the New Day, they're amazing on the mic.
Yeah.
Fucking Usos even.
Yeah.
Like, you've got 3 tag teams that could really give it back, go back to doing the rap battles or what have you, and just really build this to being, like, to be fair, like, before we started looking at this, I totally forgot Logan Paul was even on the card. Like, it's just so back of mind at this point that they haven't built it to a form of interest. Unless you are a very, no disrespect to some of our followers, a very young follower who follows the YouTube side of things and really knows who Logan Paul is, like our traditional wrestling fans, like 90s wrestling fans, 80s and early 2000s, you're not really paying attention to the likes of Logan Paul, right?
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention to Bad Bunny either. So this is why I'm open to it. And let's just see where this goes. But let's move on to one of the first and many bathroom breaks throughout this card. We've got Drew McIntyre versus Happy Corbin with Madcap Moss, apparently. Yeah.
I'm going to run on this one.
Run on it. Go.
The one thing that I will say concerns me about this match, my pick is Drew. For this match.
Yes.
But my only concern is, since Corbin's new run of luck with this character change, he's undefeated. Corbin's not been pinned. Is this going to end at Mania, or are they going to actually try and push Corbin again and us absolutely hate it and be bored to death of Baron Corbin? None of his gimmicks have worked. None of his stories have worked. I think the best thing he did was the end of days on Becky that got that reaction from Seth. But this has to be Drew, does it?
Yeah,
Does it have to be Drew?
I'm confident that it's Drew. If it's not Drew, I think I might. Undertaker is gonna roll over on his grave. Frankly, I just like. Does this not scream like Sunday Night Heat to you?
Yeah, 100%. And that's so sad to say, considering a year and a bit ago, Drew was the top of the totem pole.
Yeah, man. And like, and you think of some of the great talent that's been released, and you can't help but think, man, Drew could have had a really fun WrestleMania feud with the likes of Braun Strowman,
Karrion Kross. Like, oh my God, there's so many opportunities. Fuck, even put Finn in a feud with Drew for the US title, or switch Finn over with Ricochet, like you get, and do an IC title, Scotland versus Ireland. We talked last week about the international vibe that comes over from like Europe and just really carries the WrestleMania weekend. Like, this is one of those ones where you're like, what is this doing to benefit WWE's product?
Yeah, I mean, if you were ever considering of eating Taco Bell and drinking a coffee, during WrestleMania, like, this is the time, because you're gonna have plenty of time to go to the bathroom for this one, because I'm just not interested. Really, genuinely, I'm not. I'm going with Drew McIntyre here. Let's just move on from that stinker.
Thank you.
Yeah, the Usos. That is Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso as champions, going up against, the almighty tag team of Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs. I guess I can run on this. Fuck. Why, man? The Usos are so hot. They're so over. And I don't understand. Look, there's another tag team match. I mean, we can go right, because it's the next one. It's the New Day versus Sheamus and Ridge Holland. Fuck it. three-way triple threat match right there. The Usos, the New Day, and Sheamus and Ridge Holland. 3,000 times more interesting than this dog water of a tag team title match. I've got the Usos retaining because frankly the Bloodline and Roman Reigns can't lose any momentum going into night 2. This is another easy pick for me. The Usos are winning all day every day. Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs. You just even forget that Rick Boogs is even on the roster.
Yeah, 100%. Like it's got to be the Usos. The thing you see here is if the Usos drop the titles, you spoil the main event for night 2.
Yeah,
like if the Usos lose the title, Roman loses night 2, and Brock goes over and unifies the titles, like he said on Raw. As much as I love the idea of it being one title again, and we talked about this time and time again, if Shinsuke Nakamura and Rick Boogs walk out of night 1 with the tag titles, I don't even think I'm gonna bother going live night 2. Like that's where my head's at. That this will be the destruction of my WrestleMania weekend if the Usos. No, I don't want to be dramatic, but this is the only match that makes sense for us to call. Anything else can go any other way, but the Usos losing on night 1 and then having to deal with Roman on night 2 with Brock, not as champions, it kills the Bloodline. Like, you gotta have some, disconnect between the Bloodline for them to drop the titles. There's no disconnect here. They are as tight as they can get. It's almost like who's going to get added next to the Bloodline? Is it going to be Naomi? Is it going to be what's his name down in NXT? Solo. Or is he going to come up? But this is the only one I'm going to say 100% Usos retain.
Yeah. Let's move on here to the match that I had just alluded to. We've got the New Day, Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston going up against the Peaky Blinders, Sheamus and Ridge Holland with Butch. I booked this. We have somebody, we have somebody over at WWE clearly listening to Straight Shooter Wrestling podcast every week because I booked the hell out of this. I think this is fun. I think that this is going to be a good match with good talent. It's just too bad that we don't have Big E in it, and because Big E isn't in it, we're not going to have Pete Dunne in it, because Big E and Pete Dunne being in this match makes this genuinely fantastic. Exactly. That's okay though. Like, you can't control what happened with Big E. So maybe we get Pete Dunne doing interferences and stuff, but I'm down for this. I'm down for this match. Ultimately, I do have the New Day winning, and I'm going to add one layer of prediction sprinkles, and they will celebrate at the top of the ramp with Big E.
Yeah, so I'm the opposite, actually. They are trying to push this new faction between what we'll call them the Peaky Blinders. So I actually have Sheamus and Ridge Holland with Butch going over on this. But I do still see a appearance from Big E, maybe as the entrance, with the New Day coming out and, dancing, and then you'll get the, oh, y'all want to go big hits, and Big E comes out, slaps the boys on the butt, and they go down to the ring and go from there. So they'll be the second to enter. That's where I'm saying it, and that's how that goes. But I do see that there hasn't been much from the New Day lately. It's only been the last 2 weeks, I think. But I think they're really trying to push this new faction with Sheamus. So unfortunately, I see Sheamus, like you said, interference from Butch. Sheamus, Ridge Holland going over. So that's my pick.
I'm okay with them going over too. It's a fun faction that they're building slowly. So
yeah, I don't think there's a loser in this. I think either way for the fans. I don't think the fans are as over on this as you and I are. But I think it will come. This could be a very aggressive, and I hate to say this, La Resistance style faction where they start going anti-American and all this kind of stuff, like really like gritty. And we all know Sheamus is a heel and he's fantastic. So there's no lose in
I will
this match.
say, to your point, although there's no loser, I do think that Peaky Blinders, again, they don't have an official name. They have more to lose than the New Day. The New Day could lose at this point. Who cares? Like, they're first ballot Hall of Famers. There's no damaging the New Day. But there is damaging this stable, right? That is trying to get over with the fans. So I can definitely see where you're coming from there. Let's move on. Match 6 of night 1 is Seth freaking Rollins versus Vacant, the legendary Vacant. Oh, the like 51-time world champion across every promotion on the planet. The legendary Vacant making his legendary return to WrestleMania.
Before you go any further, did you see his tweets earlier
Vacant's
this week?
Tweet? I did, yeah. I did.
It's so good.
It's so good.
So good.
What did he say? He's just like, I'm going to steal your spotlight at WrestleMania just like I stole your title in 2017. It was good. It was good.
So good. The troll that is Vacant. Let's go.
Oh, gotta love Vacant. This is fun. Okay, because one, we don't know where this is going. The build has been a tremendous amount of fun. Can I just go ahead and say that, oh my God, I hope the rumors are not true and that it's not Shane McMahon?
I can't see it. The backlash they got from Rumble, WWE would be dumb to make it Shane. If it's Shane, I'm walking out. Like, I'm done. I'm done.
If they want a true troll moment, they hit Shane's music. Shane comes out. And then Vince comes out and says, it's not you. And then the real entrant comes out. That'd be cool.
Fantastic.
That'd be fun.
I'm okay with that.
That'd be a good troll. That'd be a good troll. Okay. Who do you have? Well, one, who do you have being the mystery?
Well, I was going to say, I hope the other rumors aren't true and Goldberg's not signed another 3-match deal.
No, it can't be Goldberg. No.
I will walk out. It's Cena. We killed this last week. We butchered it. And what's funny, Santi? I swear there's a lot more people in the IWC that watch our channel than we actually know, because ever since we posted that video, all I have been seeing on social media is, oh no, it can't be Cody. It can't be Cody because of this. It can't be Cody because of that. Can't be Cody because of this. And I'm just like, yo, we've been saying
this for weeks.
Yeah.
It's not Cody. It's not Cody.
It's not Cody. I'm going to say it's Cena.
I'm with you.
I'm sticking with Cena. And I'm also going to say Rollins has carried this feud for 4 weeks. Rollins goes over.
Really?
And it is a 6 to 7 minute match, and it is going to be. Do you really expect Rollins to have not to have a WrestleMania moment? Rollins is going over. You could put the Undertaker in there, and Rollins is going over. Simple as that. Rollins wins this because he did enough work to deserve it. And honestly, his character's loopy enough as it is. Imagine Wait. Actually, that could be a really good storyline that Rollins like cracks if he loses.
That's where I was going. You literally stole it from me.
Go ahead.
I actually think, in terms of character and booking, a Seth Rollins loss is the way to go. I think he will actually get more over with a loss, and he's going crazy, he's cracking, and they turn him into the Kanye West of WWE. I think there is money and gold in a Seth Rollins loss, especially if it's to somebody like a John Cena.
Yeah.
Whoever it is, remember when we said, like, it can't be Cody, because Cody, whenever he joins WWE, he needs to win.
Yes.
And they're not going to have him beat one of WWE's Golden Boys straight out of his run from AEW on the biggest stage in professional wrestling ever. It's
we
not
beat
going to
this-
happen.
We beat this to death.
Yes.
It's acknowledging AEW at that point,
Yeah.
and that's not happening.
So it's a lose-lose situation for WWE if they put Cody out there, because you either have Cody beat Rollins and acknowledge AEW as a superstar making machine, or you have Rollins bury your brand new toy. It's a lose-lose situation. This is Cena, and I believe that Cena will win, and it is going to add significantly more layers to Rollins' character coming out of Mania. I actually want a Rollins loss, as much as I've been loving Rollins.
We're going to look like absolute assholes if this is not Cena. Just so you know.
It's Cena. It's Cena. Come on. It's Cena.
I swear to God, if you jump on me, when Cena comes out, I am going to punch you so
Cena.
hard.
It's Cena, man. It's Cena. All right, let's move on. Final match of night one. We've got women's champion Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey for the WWE SmackDown's Women's Championship. Thoughts so far?
I don't care. Simple as that. Here's the thing. Before I go into my rant about this match, I love Charlotte Flair. She's one of the four horsewomen. She is a staple in the business, and really the women's revolution would not be anywhere near what it is with what Charlotte is now, or because of Charlotte. She has done a lot to help build this. But the build, I was really excited about 2 weeks ago with this build. And for some reason, it has just plummeted to who fucking cares? If Charlotte wins, it's the queen going over, and then she's going to have an irrelevant run against Sasha. Well, if it's Sasha, we'll talk about the next feud anyways. But if she can get Sasha, Naomi, Shayna, who arguably deserves a run, I would... Whatever. Nobody cares. We're going to run to SummerSlam with Charlotte as champion again. Ronda goes over. We're literally going to get the next week on SmackDown. Ronda and Shayna's going to come out and challenge her, which, why not? Two best friends. You know, that I'm excited for that kind of feud. But it's such predictable booking by WWE and lazy, and nothing is hidden. Kayfabe's dead. Nobody fucking cares about this match. I'm going to pick Charlotte. I don't care. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm picking Ronda Rousey. You know, I'm only saying this because I'd like to plant seeds, and you know, I'm the type of person that, you know, you say it enough, you can will it into existence, and you know, good things can come from it. It's called The Secret, right? For me, what I want to will into existence is a double turn. What I want is a double turn. It's what makes the most sense. Maybe not necessarily for Charlotte, but Charlotte being a face could be interesting. But we need Ronda as a heel. We need.
Well, the fans already
Ronda
hate her. So
I
it doesn't matter.
know. We need Ronda as a heel. And this is the stage to do it. Have her win with her arm breaker or whatever, her arm bar, and have it just not break it, and have a double turn, and something like Stone Cold passing out, have Charlotte to pass out, not tap. Just have something interesting, because it has been predictable, and I think that the idea of the double turn is far beyond what WWE is willing to consider. But I love the idea of a double turn. Ultimately, regardless, doesn't matter what we think. I got Ronda winning. That's all. But I'm kind of on the same boat as you.
But night one main event, they're gonna send the fans home miserable because Ronda Rousey.
I don't think that that's the night one main event. I think that the night one main event is going to be Becky versus Bianca.
Okay.
Fair. Yeah. I just think that that's the more fun match. And either outcome, you can have Bianca win, the face wins, fans are happy, or you can have Becky win. Everyone loves Becky, fans are happy.
Yeah, fair.
Okay.
All right.
Let's move on to night two with this absolute banger of a match. Queen Zelina and Carmella as champions, going up against Sasha Banks and Naomi, who have been paired up seemingly only because they're both black, it seems. They can't seem to find another reason to pair them up. It just seems to be the case.
What about team bad.
Yes, and they were also all the only colored women in the roster. So hey, I'm just calling it how I'm seeing it here. I just think that is so lazy to put them together. Anyways, Sasha Banks and Naomi versus Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan and Natalya and Shayna Baszler. Another bonkers duo that makes no sense, aside from the fact that they had nothing else to do going into this. I hate this. I absolutely despise this, primarily because there's such amazing talent in here that is being absolutely wasted. Sasha Banks being wasted, Rhea Ripley being wasted, Liv Morgan being wasted. Naomi is a fantastic talent. I think that she's being wasted. Shayna Baszler, her entire career is being wasted right now by WWE. All this just makes me incredibly upset. The tag team pairings make no sense. Why Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan are tag team partners when a month ago they were beating the hell out of each other in the chamber. It's treating these women like trash as performers, and it's treating the audience as idiots for not having they're making us look like we have lizard brains and we can't remember past 1 week.
Yep.
I hate this. Who's winning? I don't give a shit.
You got to pick.
Okay, I've got Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan.
Yeah, I've got Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan, and I completely 100% back you on everything that you just said. I feel the person I feel for most in this match is Sasha Banks. It's almost like WWE want to know what to do with her, but once they get there, they're so scared and they just pull the plug as quick as possible. Her title runs, like, what was her one title run? 3 days, 2 days, and you're like, great, they're finally going to push her. And they back off, and they go again, and they back off. The fans want Sasha Banks as a champion. Simple as that.
She deserves to be. She absolutely deserves to be. I mean, yeah, like that's sort of the one big name that's sticking out here, right?
I'm gonna go with Rhea and Liv just because they seem to be the most connected and visibly a team at this point, even though it was 4 weeks ago where they're kicking the shit out of each other in the chamber. Queen Zelina and Carmella are not walking out with these titles.
No. Yeah.
Have the women's tag titles changed hands at Mania yet? I don't believe so.
Yes, I believe that the Iconics lost to Sasha and Bayley.
Okay,
I think so.
It's been a minute.
I can't remember, or maybe I'm thinking that was the first ever women's tag match. I don't remember. Yeah,
honestly, at this point, who cares? Liv and Rhea are gonna walk out with these titles. They're gonna have about a 2.5 month run, and then somebody else will come up. I actually think something that's gonna happen on Friday is gonna be a stepping stone into how this match finishes. And I do see Toxic Attraction dropping all titles Friday and debuting on the main roster. So that's a huge shout. But I see that happening, and then Mandy getting into a title run or a title picture with Toxic Attraction, because you gotta say NXT 2.0 has been horrible, but this faction,
WWE, main roster needs Toxic Attraction right now.
They need Toxic Attraction right now. They need dominance. And if we had this Mandy Rose 3 years ago on the main roster, she's in the main event against Bianca or Ronda. Like, her heel work is incredible. She's brilliant. She's hot. She knows it. She can wrestle, and she can like work the camera. So I hate to take away from this. Actually, I don't give a shit to take away from this Fatal 4-Way, but I see that feud building into SummerSlam. So
yeah, I'm with you on the fantasy booking. I would love to see Toxic Attraction make a debut maybe Monday night after WrestleMania.
That'd be great.
All right, another celebrity match here. And I still find this hilarious that this is why wasn't this for the IC title? Anyways, we can digress. Like it was just such a cheap reason, such a simple way to just have the title on the card, but they had to take the title off of Sami before this. But we got Johnny Knoxville versus Sami Zayn. Who do you have winning here?
The fact that it's an anything goes match, I see interference by the entire squad from Jackass.
That's what I
I
want to see that.
Hey, I just want to see Wee Man get launched by something. So, no disrespect to our I don't know how to say this, but no disrespect to our
miniature
audience. But I just want to see Wee Man get launched and maybe Steve-O get hit with something really hard. But anything goes. The entire team from Jackass is going to come out, and Sami Zayn is not going over in this match. So that's it.
This could be the most fun match in WrestleMania. This could be the most fun match of the night. This could be the match that has you smiling from ear to ear. You just need to let the Jackass dudes take some serious bumps. All right.
Yeah.
Like have Sami throw the Wee Man and Johnny Knoxville down the ramp on a shopping cart. Okay.
Great.
That'd be awesome.
As long as it's not an 80-yard ramp, they might fall off of the side.
Like we need to see the Jackass dudes take a legit bump that will make you wince. That is what we need. All right. We need a wincing moment where it's just like, wow, no WWE superstar would ever take that bump. We need this to be a fun match. This needs to be a popcorn match. This is not a match that I would take a bathroom break on because it has the potential to be a lot of fun.
Dude, before they said it was anything goes, this was my bathroom break for night 2.
Yeah.
Then I saw anything goes. I'm like, I ain't fucking moving.
I'm in. Yeah. I've got Johnny Knoxville winning. Next one's a bit of an interesting one. Pat McAfee versus Austin Theory.
McAfee. Sorry, I'm taking this. Pat McAfee. All day long.
Really?
Pat McAfee. Here's the thing. I have preached since we started this podcast. WWE cannot do wrong when it comes to Pat McAfee. If Pat McAfee loses this match, it is a horrible move on WWE. Pat McAfee is arguably the hottest thing on SmackDown right now. He gets more TV time than half the wrestlers. The only thing I say is fantasy booking wise, Corey Graves costs Pat McAfee this match, and they set up a feud for Corey Graves to be brought back into ring against Pat McAfee on smaller booking. But Austin Theory, he's already hot. He's already going to move into a title run after Mania in some form. But you cannot do the injustice to Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee has to win this match.
I got Austin Theory.
I know you do.
I got Austin Theory winning. I mean, just what I want. Do I want Pat McAfee to win? Sure. Why not? I got Austin Theory winning because unlike Pat McAfee, Austin Theory is the guy that's going to be lacing up the boots the next night and the night after that and the night after that. Pat McAfee does not need this win because he's a commentator and he's always going to be over. Austin Theory needs this win because he's on the cusp with the fans where like we think we're into this guy, you know, like especially after the chamber, people were like, yo, this guy was pretty legit. This guy's pretty legit. So he has been doing, look, all credit to Austin Theory. This guy came in flat into the WWE, into the main roster. No one gave two shits about Austin Theory. I mean, he was even fodder during the pandemic time when there wasn't an audience. They sent him back down to NXT, came back. He was part of the Monday Night Messiah crew, if people even remember that. He came in flat into the main roster, and he has built his stock. He has built his stock to the point where he is in a Vince McMahon feud, in a Vince McMahon storyline with one of the hottest products that WWE has right now, and Pat McAfee at WrestleMania. first of all, results aside, huge kudos to somebody like Austin Theory, who's had a fantastic 2022 and 2021 to get to where he is today. The person that needs the win here to continue that momentum, to try and get the fans to finally say Austin Theory is a guy that we need to be genuinely excited about. The winner needs to be Austin Theory.
Deep down inside, I know it's going to be Austin Theory. I am just so over on Pat McAfee that my brain is clouded. I am diluted to Pat McAfee. This guy is just a genius when the camera's on him. But yes, I do agree. Austin Theory has had just an incredible 18 months. To come out of the pandemic with no fans and people to be excited to see him on television, he's doing a great job. So yeah, I agree with you, but I'm still saying Pat McAfee.
All right. All right, let's move on to the Raw tag team titles match. So we've got RK Bro. Hey, Randy. Got my Hey Randy shirt here.
Nice shirt, by the way.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Versus the Street Profits versus Alpha Academy. This could be good. Like, this could be a match that is lightning fast in terms of its pace. Probably no more than 10-12 minutes, but it could be lightning quick. I was actually thinking about this match in the past. I was thinking about matches that this could parallel, and a match that came to mind, which is not a tag team match, but it is a 3-way triple threat match, was WrestleMania 22. Kurt Angle, Randy Orton, Rey Mysterio for the World Heavyweight Championship, where they only got 9 minutes for that title match, but it was a lightning fast 9 minutes that people look back on really fondly, to the point where people are like, man, wish they had 30 minutes. I do
believe, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, I do believe in our TikToks, our last 2 TikTok posts about our top 5, that match was mentioned heavily.
Yeah.
And for that to be a 9-minute match and people to still be like, how do you not put this in a top 5 favorite? That's insane. So please continue. But I just
I think that this is a match that could parallel that in terms of how quick it could be, how hard hitting, and just spot fest, right? Because where it could be in the card, they might need to get to the next match quickly. Give them 10 minutes in there. You've got, RK Bro over as hell. A Randy who could work any type of match, whether it's slow and grueling or lightning quick. You've got the Street Profits who, they're thunder and lightning, right? And then you've got Gable and, oh my goodness, what's his name again?
Otis.
And Otis were kind of similar to Alpha Academy, not Alpha Academy, similar to the Street Profits in terms of being thunder and lightning. I think that there are some fantastic athletes and wrestlers and performers in this match that this could be super fun.
Yeah, and you and I witnessed this live last Saturday with almost all of these teams minus Randy Orton, but we saw Street Profits and Alpha Academy live, and they can work, man. Like, these guys up close are incredible. Like, they've got good chemistry between the two teams. The move sets are there. They can attract the audience. I do think this is one of the top 3 matches of Mania. I would put this in my number 3. If I was to bill this out, what I would say would be in the top 3. This is my number 3 match that's going to be the most entertaining and literally the most watched, and people that are going to be more focused on it. If I'm going to give, personally, I don't care who wins, because either way, it builds the stock for everyone in this match, whoever wins. I'm going to say the Street Profits because of the short little heel turn that we saw on Raw. We've not seen the Street Profits as heels. I like the idea of the Street Profits as heels. I really do. It brings back the what were they called? They came up from NXT and they got released. Hit Row. This is a Hit Row situation, and you can see that switching over. Very aggressive, very rugged, that kind of thing. So I see the Street Profits going over as heels. I like this idea.
I still have RK Bro winning this one. I think the only ones that I don't see winning are Alpha Academy. So I like your idea of the Street Profits winning. I still think that it's going to be RK Bro. And I would like to see a celebration between these two on the night after WrestleMania, with Randy finally turning on Riddle and breaking our hearts, on the night after WrestleMania.
I don't think it's Randy that turns.
Ooh, okay, all right. Well, we'll see about that. We'll see about that. Let's
Can you do me a favor? Go to number 6. Go to 6. Let's leave that one for now.
Sure. We can go to number 6. We've got recently announced the return of Bobby Lashley versus Omos.
Another booking call by Straight Shoot.
Yep.
What was it, 2 weeks ago that we called this?
We called it.
And hey, and look, it happens. Guys, you're going to have to start paying us for this shit, okay?
Seriously.
This is a tough one, my dude.
I'm having a tough time booking this one. I'm having a really tough time booking this one. Do you have anything to say right off the bat?
I think the way I'm gonna give Omos a little bit of promo credit, because he hit his spots on Raw with the promo, and when he said dominate, you're just like, well, when's Bobby's music gonna hit? And it hit within like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And I was just like, wow, Santi and I done it again. And honestly, it doesn't hurt anyone's stock.
This is the first Omos match I'm interested in.
Exactly.
This is the first Omos match that I give a shit about. I think between the two of us, I think it's safe to say that I'm far more over on Bobby Lashley than you are. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah.
I have a very high stock on Bobby Lashley, which is why I ranted and raved with the way that the Elimination Chamber ended up going. You know, hindsight's 2020. Now we know that he was genuinely very, very injured. So probably ultimately the right choice. But I'm very high on Bobby Lashley. And for WWE, in my eyes, to finally give Omos somebody of the caliber of Bobby Lashley to go up against in this type of stage tells me two things. Either WWE is ready to go all in on Omos, which I think might actually be the case, or two, WWE is so over on Bobby Lashley that they think that he can be the one to make Omos look good. It's one of those two. I actually do believe that WWE is all in on Omos, and that Omos is going to be holding a world championship within the next year and a half. But this is the first legitimate stepping stone for Omos that I'm interested in.
Yep, and I'm licking my lips listening to you talk about that, because I am going to say we've booked this straight through. And the one thing that you had to notice on Raw, MVP was not behind Lashley. And I called this last week. It will be Bobby Lashley versus Omos, and MVP turns. Because the one thing Omos can't do is really use his mic skills. He's a dominant force, but he needs someone to carry him on the mic. And who better than MVP? You know? Like, I am telling you right now that Kane is hitting MVP or Bobby Lashley in the back during this match. Omos is going over, and you are going to see the run of a dominant power and MVP. And as much as your stock is in Bobby, I never said my stock was never in a good manager, and my stock has always been an MVP. He is amazing in everything he does. Since he's returned and been more of a valet and a manager, oh my God, this guy, everything he touches turns to gold. Everything. So I'm saying Omos goes over on this with a swerve, with MVP joining him, and I love every second of that.
I got Omos winning as well. I'm with you. I'm with you on that, and I would absolutely love to see that particular. But move on to what you and I both believe to be the best match on this card, and I think it's not just you and I think it's just about everybody that is a professional wrestling fan. We've got Edge, the rated R superstar, versus the phenomenal one, AJ Styles.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for giving us this match. I've been it's one of those matches. I think we touched on this a couple of weeks ago, where we think of these legendary matches where we say, man, but we didn't get them in their prime, right? I think we're getting them in their prime. I think this is the best AJ, maybe not the most athletic AJ that we've ever had, because AJ, younger TNA days, the man was doing crazy shit that you won't see anybody aside from perhaps a Ricochet be able to do. Okay. Maybe this is not the most athletic version of AJ Styles, but I think this is the most main event ready AJ Styles ever.
What I'm going to add to that, what you and I talk about a lot on this podcast is character development, persona, and marquee. This is marquee AJ. There has never been a bigger AJ at this point.
Yeah.
This is, and I'm going to throw this out there. This is marquee Edge since the start of the rated R Edge.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, I'm watching a lot of hate for this heel turn and this new vibe of Edge. This is giving me, and I'm very over on the House of Black and Aleister Black over in AEW. This is giving me premium vibes, like almost like Edge could lead that faction with what he's doing. I love everything Edge is doing right now. I've never been big on Edge ever.
Neither have I. I'm with you on that.
This is marquee Edge at this point. This is marquee AJ. If you were to say, hey, Steve, who are you going to put on the poster for WrestleMania? There you go. This is the match. Fuck Brock. Fuck Roman. Forget everyone else. Forget Becky. Forget Bianca. This is your marquee match of the night, and I feel so bad for whoever has to go in the ring after this match.
Yeah, I'm with you. And you know what? Like you said, marquee AJ, I grew up with Edge. Like, that is my generation of wrestling. That is and I've never been like super in love with Edge. I always felt that there was, I don't know, some sort of intensity missing with Edge. I think it's more on the athletic endeavors of Edge in the 2000s and super early 2010s. I was never blown away by his athleticism. Mm-hmm. He's more athletic now than he's ever been.
Yes, he is.
This is the oldest, but the most athletic version of Edge. And with the age, now we're also getting a better in-ring psychologist than we've ever had with Edge. So now we have the best physique that Edge has ever been in, plus the best in-ring psychology that Edge has ever had. Mm-hmm. And I genuinely think that this is the best version of Edge that we've ever had. So I don't think that the argument can be made that, we're not getting these guys in their prime. I think that we are. I genuinely believe that we are.
I agree. And just remember, when Edge debuted, he was with the Brood. That was my generation. And really late 90s, like, you weren't too impressed with anything they were doing. And then you got what your generation got with Edge and the Rated R Superstar, the feuds with Mick Foley, John Cena, etc. And you're like, okay, this guy can work, but there's always been something missing.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I was going to jump in and say he was also never the guy. WWE loves to say, the 10-time world champion. That was a 10-time world champion in like a 3-year span.
Yeah.
Because they never let Edge ever carry the title for more than a month, it seemed. If you give Edge, I mean, it's tough to say right now because he's in this generation with Roman Reigns, who I genuinely believe should continue to hold the title for hundreds and hundreds.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
But if Edge was champion right now, I could see him having the title for 200, 300 days because he's so good right now. He's so good.
Yeah, I think the only thing that Edge needs is, I don't want to use the term disciple, but it's the only thing that comes to mind. I think like a little, if he's playing this dark of a heel, I think there has to be that one person that's kind of just interjects themselves every now and again just to uh, e- extend that reach of his character. I would love to see Edge with a new kind of Brood faction, like bring in two new guys, you know, and kind of lead with it with the title, and be like, now you learn from me, you know, like history repeating itself. I would love that, but this is me going back to fantasy booking again. But Edge right now, what you're saying is in-ring psychology on the mic, psychology in his vignettes, everything he's doing is just, it's almost bringing all of his characters together finally to this nice perfect little mold. And when it comes to picking this match, I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know. Look, I'm gonna pick Edge. I'm gonna
Okay.
pick Edge, simply for the reason that he's the one with the new character. That's it. Because we can't go wrong. Whoever wins here, the fans are the real winners. That's cheesy, but the real winners here are the fans.
Okay, I'm gonna go the other way. I'm gonna
Sure.
go AJ just based on the new contract.
Sure.
That
Makes
you
just
know,
as much makes just as much sense as to my reason. So
yeah, I'll go AJ on this. But as much as because I think as we mentioned, Rollins, Edge losing is just going to make his new character more intense,
I
and I
agree.
like that.
Sure.
So AJ.
All right, let's move on to the main event of the match. The winner takes all unification of the WWE Championship and WWE Universal Championship. We've got the Beast, Brock Lesnar, versus the Tribal Chief, Roman Reigns, coming in as champion. Coming in as the Universal Champion, and Brock coming in as the WWE Champion. I mean, I can run with this for a little bit. This is the easiest pick, right? This is the easiest pick. This is Roman Reigns all day, every day.
Is it?
Yes. It can't be anyone else.
I'll jump in if you want. Like,
you jump in.
It is Roman. But this match isn't going to be a back and forth 7-9 minute match. This is going to be a war. This is going to be. I say this is the longest match out of all of them. We're going to go 20-25 minutes for this match. The abuse, we're going to see the Usos, we're going to see Paul Heyman get involved. This, by the way, this is some of the best character work I've ever seen Brock Lesnar do. Let's just go to Brock. Let's go to Brock first. This is some of the best character work I've ever seen him do. Brock on the mic has by far been the best Brock on the mic I've ever seen. I'm loving everything they're doing backstage, but I hate to give you the, you know, props that you deserve, but you saying Roman deserves to have a 1,000-day run 6, 7, 8 weeks ago, I am so for it. But the way I'm booking this match is how they have booked every Roman feud for the last 8 months. There's just going to be the next competitor whose music hits at the end of that match.
You think it's...
Yes, it is.
If you smell what The Rock is cooking? Is that what you're telling me right now?
Yes, it is. It is going... I am telling you right now, you want to send the fans home happy? Dallas, acknowledge me if you smell. Game over. Mark out. Go home with those goosebumps. But I tell you now, Roman will be laid out on his back at the end of Mania with The Rock holding up both titles.
Dude, I got goosebumps. I got goosebumps. I'm all in for that. Yeah, it's true. That's how every major pay-per-view has ended for Roman Reigns, right? That's in every time I've marked out. So I'm for this. I like this booking. Now, with that, let's go back to the match at hand, the Roman versus Brock Lesnar. This is going to be a good match. I think it's going to be a good match. These two always work well together. My concern with this match is actually that it's going to be overbooked. A lot of interferences, a lot of Paul Heyman going, "Oh my God, no! My tribal chief!" Right? Begging the Brock Lesnar. I'm already seeing it. I'm already seeing the seeds that this is going to be an overbooked mess. If it is going to be an overbooked mess, I hope it's 30 minutes of an overbooked mess rather than like 10 minutes, lots of overbooking, lots of run-ins, the night is over. I do want this to be a war, like you said. And I do have Roman Reigns winning, and I do have Roman Reigns going in as champion all the way through to next year's WrestleMania. There's just nobody right now that can take the title from Roman Reigns, not even Brock Lesnar. So I've got Roman Reigns winning all day, every day.
Yeah, and I think a strange question. It is Mania, so they kind of let the rules go a little bit, that what they normally have. Do we see color in this match? I know this is a weird one, but do we see color in this match?
I don't think so. Especially like if WWE wants to be able to like show highlights on,
I know
on free TV, etc.
Yeah, I know it's a strange. There's a reason I asked this, because it seems like on the grandest stages and the biggest matches, Brock always shows. He always shows colors. He always bleeds. If it's a throw into the turnbuckle or the outside post or what have you, for some reason I just feel that Brock always bleeds. So it's I always have one of these episode where I'm like, it's bugging me. I just need to ask the question. I feel we do, and I think it's going to tell more to the story for the war. I don't remember the last time Roman showed color. I can't remember for the life of me. I do think we see color in this match, and I think it's just going to tell more of the story. It might even be an interference shot from one of the Usos with a chair, with a distraction, or the referee taking a bump or what have you.
It's a match that could benefit from color. I'm not like the biggest fan of blood. I think like I don't think it's necessary. Yeah. Frankly, I'm actually one of the few people that says all the blood that we get in AEW actually like diminishes like the importance of that moment, right? Seems to be a bloody match. There's usually like one or two bloody matches in every AEW pay-per-view, to the point where I'm like, when blood happens in WWE, it has my attention. This is a match that could actually benefit from somebody bleeding, and
I believe so too.
Yeah, I think I'll leave it at that. It is a match that could benefit from it. Does it need it? I don't think so, but I do think that it could elevate the in-ring storytelling with this hypothetical war that these two are going to be going into.
Yeah. So we both got Roman going over. I think the final one, you've kind of been taking the lead, and we almost forgot about something, Santi.
Hit me.
We almost forgot about the biggest event of the night. The KO show. Kevin Owens with the returning beer swilling rattlesnake son of a bitch, Stone Cold Steve Austin, right down there in God Bless Texas. Santi?
This turns into a match.
Oh, there is no way this doesn't turn
into a match.
Now, are we getting this night one? Or I think we are getting this night one. Now,
I would prefer this night one. This night one, yeah.
Because I feel that if this is night two, there are too many important matches. Edge, AJ, Brock, Roman, even the triple threat tag. Nobody's going over after this.
Yeah. If anything, I think the only the match that makes them, if this is night one, the match that makes the most sense to go after this is Drew McIntyre versus Happy Corbin. Just to give people, that bathroom break that they might need to come down. I think this turns into a match. Kevin Owens is going to insult the hell out of Texas, insult the hell out of Stone Cold, and this turns into what I genuinely believe is the best choice, into a squash match.
Yeah, and what we spoke about this before, and what sold me on this being a match, or turning into a match, was Undertaker's comments. And I think he was at like a driving a race or something. He drove a sprint car or something. He was asked about the whole Kevin Owens calling out Austin, and he said Austin's in shape. He's been training. He's always kept himself ready. A man who loves the business and openly says he loves this business almost more than his wife and his children. 19 years away from the business, you can't put Austin in a 20 by 20 ring and expect him not to actually have a match in front of 80 plus thousand people.
80 plus thousand Texans. Well, not Texans, but like in Texas.
Yeah, this is a match, and I do believe that Owens benefits from the squash.
Yeah. We talked about this. I do believe that Owens will be better for a squash rather than it being like a back and forth match. I think a squash is the way to go.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be ring the bell. Owens goes for a stunner. Austin spins, ducks under, kick to the groin, stunner. Owens sells by standing and like wobbling, second stunner, sleeps him.
Yeah.
And then a 20-minute beer bash.
I think it was probably at this point, like 2 months ago, where I fantasy booked taking 3 stunners to beat to beat Kevin Owens, and that each way he sells it is a iconic way that the stunner has been sold, like ending with like a ridiculous Rock, Dwayne the Rock Johnson sell. I would love to see like a chronological view of all the different famous sells of the Stone Cold Stunner. Again, that's fantasy booking.
Yeah, what was the one? Oh God, who got stunned and just stood there? Oh no, it was Scott Hall.
Yeah,
Scott Hall got stunned on the first one, stood there and wobbled, and then he launched himself.
Yeah,
which was. I'm sorry, that's still one of the greatest sells for me.
It's so good.
The Rock selling the stunner is great. Shane selling the stunner is great, but Scott Hall just ejecting himself.
It's so funny. It's so funny. He got like 20 feet of air.
It was so good. It was so good. And wasn't that Toronto?
That was 18. Yeah, Toronto.
Oh man, so good. But yeah, so we'll just say Austin goes over, and then I want the over under. How many beers does he drink?
Oof. I'm saying that he opens and pours, because not all of it might go in his mouth. I'm gonna go ahead and say 13.
You're going with an odd number considering he cracks 2 at a time.
Crap. 14.
Yeah, I was actually going with 14, but I'll go with the over. I say he does more.
All right.
But yeah, that would be so good.
All right. Well, Steve, those are all of the matches for WrestleMania. Anything else that we should touch on here before we wrap up?
The only thing I think we should touch on, Santi, is we've kind of changed our US title giveaway. We are going to give that away night 1 of Mania. We're going to give everyone a little bit more of a chance to follow the YouTube and follow the Twitter. So we're going to give that away night 1. We're going to do the draw live on TikTok. So if you guys are watching WrestleMania, make sure you have the TikTok live open. And we're going to do that draw there live. Don't know what time during the event. Santi and I'll decide that during the event. But Santi and I are going to be in the same room for once. And we'll do the draw that night. So we'll be giving the title away the night of WrestleMania, or night 1.
Absolutely. All right, Steve, where can people find you?
Guys, you can find me on twitch.tv/Mr. Tesh, obviously on the Straight Shoot profiles, and Twitter/Mr. Tesh. Santi, what about you, brother?
Twitch.tv/SantiZap, and of course the Straight Shoot TikTok is where you can find me. But oh man, it's gonna be a wild weekend between NXT, WrestleMania. Oh, we can't end WrestleMania SmackDown. Let's just quickly talk about this.
We almost forgot.
We almost ended this on a happy note. No, fuck that. Let's get back to being toxic internet wrestling fans. What the fuck? They have moved the Ricochet triple threat match with him versus Los Lotharios, as well as the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which includes Finn Balor, off of the WrestleMania show and onto this week's episode of SmackDown that is being so lovingly titled WrestleMania SmackDown. God, why?
Before we get into this, can we just talk about booking for this for a second? We have on Friday night. Is this all Friday night?
Dude, I'm so confused with the timings because of NXT.
NXT
Stand and Deliver.
Stand and Deliver. The Hall of Fame and SmackDown all on Friday night? Or is SmackDown moving to Thursday?
I've lost track. We'll figure it out soon enough. Either
way, Los Lotharios are not. Neither one of those guys are winning the title.
No.
Simple as that. That's Ricochet's winning the title. I'm going to say Finn Balor wins the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. If Finn Balor does not win this fucking Battle Royal, it is diminishing the US title and Finn Balor's credibility. He's the only title holder in this. He's the only ex-Universal Champion in this.
Hey, Jinder Mahal is in this. All right, not a Universal Champion, but former
one of the greatest
WWE, always one of the greatest WWE champions of all time. Do not hinder Jinder. All right,
I will hinder Jinder.
Keep my boy Jinder's name out your fucking mouth, Steve.
I cannot believe you just did that. Tell me
you didn't
just do that.
All right, let's finish it there. Twitch.tv/SantiZap, as well as the Straight Shoot TikTok.
No!
What now?
We found Veer.
We did find Veer.
Found
He was at
Veer.
We saw him on Saturday night, fellas. We saw him at the Saturday night house show. Veer is here. Veer is coming.
Veer is coming. We promise you, and I am going to add it right here. So for everybody on the podcast, we found Veer.
Can I end this episode now?
Yeah, let's go.
Take care, everybody. Cheers.